All right, everyone, buckle up. Wuthering Waves 3.0 is finally here, and it's brought us an absolute game changer. LYNAE has landed, and I'm not exaggerating when I say she's potentially the single best support and off-field damage dealer in the game right now. Her arrival has completely shaken up the meta, so it's time we sit down, dive deep, and figure out exactly what makes her tick, and more importantly, where she fits into your teams. Lootbar.gg is a site that gives you big discounts on your in-game purchases. Let's take Wuthering Waves as an example. You can actually see the price difference right away when you compare. The process is super simple. Pick the pack you want, click Top Up, choose your payment method, and that's it. Your rewards show up right on your account. And don't worry, your login info is completely cleared after the transaction, so it's safe. New users can get up to 21% off plus additional discount coupons from the link in the description. And yes, first-time top-up bonuses are available as well. Let's kick things off by talking about her damage potential. Now here's the funny thing. Right now, we don't actually have a main DPS character who can fully utilize every single buff she throws out. But don't let that fool you. Her buffs are so stupidly universal and powerful. We're talking up to a massive 39% damage amplification and a 25% liberation bonus, that she ends up breaking some of our older carries wide open. I'm looking at you, Yuno and Augusta. She single-handedly gives them a new lease on life. You've got options here. You can slot LYNAE in as the buffer and sub-DPS for either Yuno or Augusta, or, and this is the spicy part, you can run her with both of them in one team. The rotation for that triple threat setup goes like this. Start with LYNAE. Use her intro skill, tap her regular skill, then hold that normal attack button to charge up and plunge to convert your true color. Then you pop her liberation burst, and finally, outro swap to Yuno. Pro tip. In this specific team, you always want to save her liberation for the tail end of her field time. Why? Because you want that juicy buff window to cover both Yuno and Augusta's damage phases. The math checks out. This trio actually outperforms the older Shorekeeper versions of these teams. It makes sense since LYNAE brings way more personal damage to the table. Though fair warning, the rotation is a bit longer if you're not playing a super quick swap style. Now, circling back to her own potential as a main DPS. The word on the street is, until the next version drops, a lot of you are going to be fielding her as your primary on-field attacker. So, how good is LYNAE as a main DPS when you stack her up against dedicated carries like Augusta or Cartethia? Honestly, her personal damage is lower, but that's completely okay and not a surprise at all. She's designed as a support first, a sub-DPS second. That's her job. But after some rigorous testing, her pure DPS team, LYNAE, Sanhua, and Shorekeeper, performs shockingly similar to a Camellia, Sanhua, Shorekeeper team. That's actually really impressive. It shows that if you really want to force her into the main DPS role, she's perfectly capable. To give you a clearer picture, as a main DPS, she's looking better than almost all the 1.x era damage dealers. The only ones she might not top are the super optimized wheelchair teams. Some crucial notes here. Unless you're running that triple carry dream team with Yuno and Augusta, you'll almost always want to use her burst at the start of her rotation to snapshot those buffs onto herself and your next swap-in, usually Yuno. The good news is all these units have very short field times, so managing these buff windows isn't a headache. For her dedicated DPS team with Sanhua and Shorekeeper, the combo changes a bit. You do your basic string, but you end it by holding the attack for that heavy hit to maximize her on-field time and damage. But let me be real with you, I wouldn't recommend building her as a pure main DPS. In endgame content like the Tower of Adversity, with the standard rotation, she's barely scraping by with Sanhua. And sadly right now, Sanhua is her best-in-slot partner for that role. So her best teams, hands down, are the ones where she supports Yuno or Augusta. Speaking of support, let's talk pure buffing power. She is, unequivocally, better than Shorekeeper. That means, in any team where you don't desperately need Shorekeeper's healing or sustain, you can technically slot LYNAE in as a direct upgrade. For most players who have their survival under control, this is a massive W. Her buffs are just on another level. This brings us to the million-dollar question. What's her pull value? If you're thinking of pulling her just to be your new main DPS forever, I don't think she's the one, fam. Especially with the recent trend of enemy HP bars getting ridiculously inflated, which is only going to get worse. Her future is brightest as a premier sub-DPS buffer for a future, yet-to-be-released main DPS. Think about it. Her 40 Toon Break boost is almost completely useless right now, because no current DPS can really capitalize on it. That's a big clue about where she's headed. For now, her best teams orbit around Augusta and Yuno. Comparing her pull worth against their reruns is tricky, because it's apples and oranges. Their main DPS, she's support. But if you are dead set on making her your on-field star, I'd highly recommend vertical investment. Going all in on her. Her signature weapon isn't even the best in slot if you're purely chasing her personal damage. So unless you need the absolute peak performance, you can manage just fine with a standard banner weapon. Her resonance chains, however, are where things get wild. Sequence 1 is mostly a quality of life upgrade, letting you skip the resonance skill animation and giving a slight personal damage bump. Nice to have. Sequence 2 is where it gets serious, throwing massive team-wide buffs into the mix. But Sequence 3? That's the game breaker. At S3, she transforms into an insane main DPS that can hang with the big leagues like Augusta and Cardathia. For most of you, though, she'll be staying at S0 or S1 as an elite buffer. A lot of you are asking, should I skip Chacona if I already have Cardathia and just get LYNAE? My personal take? I'd recommend completing the duo. Cardathia is still monstrously strong, and with her dedicated support Chacona, she's set to crush content for at least another year. We have zero info on how the new DPS characters will perform, so securing a proven top-tier duo is the safer, smarter move for your account strength. For all the new players just starting out, my advice is different. Go for the new characters, like LYNAE, and start building your core team around them. LYNAE is honestly insane. She is, right now, the best buffer in the game. It's almost a shame we can't see her full potential yet because the perfect partner for her isn't even here. So, for my tier list ranking, considering overall account value and flexibility, I'm putting LYNAE in the same top-tier bracket as Augusta, Cardathia, Frolova, and Yuno. She's that impactful. We're going to be dropping a full, in-depth guide soon with all the spreadsheets, number crunching, every possible team option, and optimized rotations. I also want to test her a bit more myself. And let's be real, a lot is going to change once we get the final kit for Mornye. So make sure you're subscribed and have those notifications on. Let me know in the comments what teams you're running with LYNAE and how she's performing for you. Until next time, stay tuned and keep waving. Save up to 25% on current banners at lootbar.gg. Links in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.